In this video, we're going to take a deeper dive into the schedule page. So to start with, we click on the schedule button on the left menu bar. This takes us to the schedule page. You'll see two tabs at the top, one for clients and one for caregivers. This shows the schedule from either the client's perspective or the caregiver's perspective. We'll start by looking at the client's perspective. So you can see the list of your active clients listed in the grid here. The search lets you filter which clients you want to show up. We're on all active right now, but you can filter by first name, last name, payment type, client team if you want something else to show up. You can toggle what week is showing, so you can toggle forwards, backwards. With this calendar button in the top, you can move further along. So if we want to go way back into the past, we could go way back. And then if you want to jump back to where we are, just press current week, and here we are. You'll see all the names listed on the left-hand side. You can click any name, and it'll show you contact information for that person. It has team, a phone number, an email. The next button is to see the monthly calendar for that client. So this shows us Pam Beasley's monthly calendar, if we want to just look at her. Press the client button up at the top, and this gets us back to our weekly calendar with all of the names listed. The plus button is what we press if we want to add new appointments for the client that we're under, so Pam Beasley in this case. You can also add new clients by pressing the blank space on any of the days. The hours shows us how many hours are currently scheduled for the week. And here we see the calendar starts on Monday and goes through the week. Under the admin section for the branch settings, you can change it to either have the week start on Sunday or Monday, whichever you prefer. And you usually have this line up with how you what days you post on for the week, and whether you're posting for the week starting on Sunday or the week starting on Monday. So now let's go through what we see in this grid here for what the appointments are. So if we see at the start, the blue is permanent scheduled. So these are weekly appointments. They're part of a weekly schedule. And blue means that there is a caregiver scheduled for the appointment. So you can see the names listed on all of the blue appointments. So these are part of repeating schedules with a caregiver scheduled. The red means that it's part of a repeating schedule, but there is no caregiver currently scheduled. So you see those, all the red ones, no caregivers are listed because there's no caregiver currently on those, and it lets you know that you need to add someone for those appointments. The purple is one-off appointments, so not repeating with a caregiver scheduled. The gold colored one is one-offs with no caregiver currently scheduled. And the gray means that it is a no-need appointment, so that for whatever reason, whether you failed to get a caregiver or the client couldn't make it, the caregiver couldn't make it, for whatever reason, you can pick what the reason is. You needed to no-need the appointment and it was not going to take place at that given time. Now the different symbols. You see this circle is over the funding cap. So on this Jane Austen one, we see circles. Over the funding cap usually means that you have the funding source is an insurer, and you have a set amount of hours that they're willing to pay, and that you're over that cap. So you either need to schedule less hours or have private pay pick up some of those hours. The check mark that we see on all these means that the caregiver has checked into those appointments. That's done through the HZCare app. So when the caregiver arrives at the appointment, they're able to check in through a geofence check-in through the caregiver app. You can learn more about that in our HZCare video on checking in and filling out checklists. And then the triangle means that there is a caregiver conflict. So we see those here on Tuesday on Pam Beasley's appointment. Agatha Christie is scheduled from 9 to 5. And on Sheldon Cooper, Agatha Christie is scheduled from 12 to 3. So those obviously overlap. So I think Agatha Christie is going to have a hard time being two places at once. So we'd probably want to change that. Make it where she's only working one of those appointments. So now let's look at it from the caregiver's perspective. So this is all the same appointments, just the caregivers are listed on the left-hand side of the grid instead of the clients. So this is from their perspective. And if we, on the search up at the top, our search is going to involve the caregivers. So here are the caregivers. If you click on any of them, it shows their contact information now. It shows how many hours they're scheduled to work for the week, and then their schedule. Again, same colors. The blue means that it's a repeating schedule that's scheduled. The purple means it's a one-off schedule that's scheduled. Obviously, there are no unscheduled appointments here because this is from the caregiver's perspective, so that means that they're all scheduled. A no need is still gray. If the hours were in red, that would mean that the worker was over the branch's prescribed hours cap for the week. That's set up in the branch settings under admin. And then you have the checks for when the caregivers have checked in, just like we had on the other page. Also on the caregiver side, you can turn on under the search to show availability and to show unavailability. So you can manage availability and unavailability for caregivers under the caregiver section for each person. And then when you're showing availability and unavailability, it adds the plus icons for adding availability and unavailability for any of the days. Along with this, on the caregiver side, you can also press this availability top menu button, and this shows you the schedules. Again, this is from the caregiver's perspective, their weekly schedule, and it shows each day, and it shows on each day it's 12 a.m. to 12 a.m., so midnight to midnight, so it shows you over the course of the day any availability they have and what appointments they're booked for. So if they're booked, that blue is going to override the green, the availability. But it's just a good way to see how much your caregivers are working over the week, how well you're utilizing their availability. You can see, so the blue is a booked appointment. This lighter green is ongoing availability. The darker green is just one-time availability. So if they just want to have some specific time that you know that just this week they're going to be available in case you need to schedule them. And then the red is caregiver unavailability, which you might do if they're going to be on vacation or they have a doctor's appointment or some reason they can't work at that time. So this is a good screen to just see how well you're utilizing your caregivers and what their schedules look like. So one last thing to look at on the schedule page, we're going to go back to client. We see this button is quick edit on. So instead of going into an appointment, as you see in our other scheduling videos of taking the deep dive, so if all you need to do is just schedule someone, see we can click on here. It gives us just some basic information about the appointment. So let's say we want to put a caregiver on it. We can do any of our filtering options that we normally do. That's great. So here's a caregiver that'll work. We press save, and now Ernest Hemingway is scheduled for that time. So there you go. I hope this helps you learn more about the scheduling page. Please visit our other scheduling videos to take an even deeper dive, but I hope this all helps. Have a great day.